Hello everyone, this is Isabella with Angel Chantress Love. Today we are going to be clearing religious disorders with the Principality Angel Sebastopol. There are dark ETs that are connected to the religions that are siphoning the followers' energies and using it for their own agenda. So the Principality Angels preside over large groups like religious organizations, including Christianity, Catholicism, Mormonism, Islam, Seventh-day Adventists, etc. So we incarnate many times under multiple religious beliefs, so it's important to clear all the belief systems in our energetic field. Also, when we do this, we're clearing for all of our ancestral lineage as well, and all of the beliefs that they held. This isn't to say that you can't continue your religious beliefs. However, following God directly and not allowing someone else to dictate when you can and where you can and how you can communicate with source energy is important to this clearing. Let's see what the angels want to bring through today. Anmeho na anmeo almea hava almea no Iamana osa almea no Iamana o namana eamana o Alvekana evakano Iamaka o namaka namekano. So the first dark ET that I see is connected with the Seventh-day Adventist belief system. This ET is almost looks kind of like an amoeba. It's just a cream-colored entity with multiple tentacles coming off of it that are connecting into all of the people who share this religious belief. So when these religions were originally established, these beings connected to whomever the leaders of these religions were. And one of the reasons that a lot of religions want to have a primary person that the communication to God goes through is so that they can control and manipulate this person who becomes a vessel and a channel for these entities to enter into the populace. So this is another reason it's really important to use your own discernment and understand that we're all connected to source energy and that we all have the ability to communicate directly with the God source, and we don't need that intermediary. You can also use your discernment to ask God if the intermediary you are choosing to go through is in direct communication with God. What I found in my own belief system, I was brought up conservative Baptist, and what I discovered when I truly began awakening consciously to my spiritual gifts was sitting in a church listening to someone speak to me that had never once in their life had a spiritual vision or was doing more than speaking dogma to me. It was very unnerving to me to turn my energy over to this person and listen to them speaking about beliefs that were based a long time ago and were meant for the people who were at that time communicating with God, and the living conditions and the situations were vastly different from what they are today. So even though there are still valuable resources and tools in these sacred texts, there are also a lot of adjustments and changes and more modern day influences that weren't evident back in the day. So just like I said, use your discernment, and if it doesn't feel right, then make sure that you're requesting of your guides and angels to assist you in aligning purely with source energy when you communicate, so that you can be shown and hear what God is truly intending for you. You will feel it in your body if it feels off. And that's not to say that you can't continue to worship and communicate with the divine through these religions, but make sure that you're aligned before you go to any kind of a service or anything, so that you can pick up on anything that doesn't feel right to you. Ayama hechanako, amana hechanako. So I'm just calling forward all of these beings. Ayana mahekanako, alavaka eka nakano. Ayakana ekano, ayamana maleano. Alavaya heyo, alavaya ho, ayanavata eknakao. So I'm going to ask that the principality angels come forward at this time and gather the roots of all of these connections. Everywhere that these beings are connected by these tentacles to these followers, across all time, space, dimension, reality, and planes of existence. And as these roots are gathered, I'm asking that the Archangel Michael use his flaming blue sword to cut the connections. And as these cords are cut, we're going to pull from the root. So if you can see almost like a tree root being pulled out of your energy field, you're going to pull all of these energy cords that have been cut now out at the root. And we're going back to the moment of the creation of this root. So we'll get it all out. So as we pull that root out, we're going to throw this root into angelic fire to be consumed so it can be utilized again by Source. Deep breath. Good. Now we're going to call forward all of the contracts that we have agreed to, whether these are known or unknown, seen or unseen, whether they were made by our ancestors, they are in our DNA. If it's in our bloodline, it's in our DNA. And if we clear ourselves, we clear the ancestral lineage. So this is really important that you clear everything that you can and heal everything that you can within your own energy field to cleanse all of the bloodlines on the planet. As each individual does this, it lifts the whole collective up. Okay, so let's burn all of these contracts up in angelic fire. Some of these were made out of duress. Some were made from fear-based knowledge that was given to us. Some are made because we simply were born into a specific society that believed a certain thing. So God doesn't mind your questions. If you question why you need to believe a certain thing or why you do believe a certain thing, God is not going to be angered or upset by your questioning. God is there to support you and love you always and teach you the path that is most joyful for you to be on. We were not meant to struggle and be in hardship and difficulty. These are all things that these dark ETs, the demonics, and the people that are channeling these energies of envy, jealousy, fear, rage are projecting onto us. And this is why it is at times difficult to find that place of peace and joy within ourselves. So let's burn all these contracts on angelic fire. Amanavane ateaho, anmane to atanaho, almaleho, almalaho, anmana eto makahalamekano, ayamana ora, anmana he, iyamakana nae mikane. O mikahana meane, iamavata taemiane. Breath and release. We're going to call upon Mother God that she clear these cords on the other end for everyone else and dissolve all of that in angelic fire. And many of these beings, they are not meant, nor were they ever meant to be upon this planet. So we're going to send them back to where they belong. But before we do that, we're going to call upon the sword of justice, and we're going to initiate judgment on all of these beings in the higher courts. So these higher courts are in the spiritual realm, and these beings will be judged for all of the imbalances that they've created upon the planet. The universe always demands balance. So anything that we think or feel or act upon, we are going to be under judgment for. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just a balancing of the energies in the spiritual world, which trickles down into this 3D world that we see on the planet here. We're going to allow these energies to shift, and we're going to ask that the principalities open up a singularity to shift all of these beings out of our energetic space. And as you do this, and the more people who do this, the higher the collective can rise in the ascension on this planet. Aymanavata naheyamiano, almeata naheyamiano. Olmiavata almeano, imakata tahekmikano. Deep breath. The next energy that Sebastopol is bringing up here is Catholicism. And I see this dark humanoid ET. She looks feline, but she has a wide face with like freckles on her face and the cat ears. And she's got some fur that goes over her head and down her back and a little on her arms. And she appears to have the spots throughout her body, almost like really large freckles. But as she opens her mouth, she has these like vampire teeth. So this is the entity, the species that is siphoning the energy of the followers of Catholicism. So we're going to clear her and her species out. We're going to call all of these beings forward into this ring of angelic fire with us. Anamavahe, Anamavahe, Almiano. Imanavata kano, Ianavota kanavao, Ianavo kanavanikao, Anavikanavanaveano, Ivananavaneano, Olaveatana Iamiano, Ayamalayoanameano. Okay, and as all these beings come forward, we're going to ask the principality angels to help us gather all the roots from the very origin of these entities connecting to this religious community. And as the roots are gathered up, we're going to ask the Archangel Michael to cut the cords of connection, and we're going to pull that out at the root from the moment of its origin across all time, space, dimension, reality, and planes of existence. And we're going to cast those roots into angelic fire to be recycled by the universe. We're going to pull forward all soul contracts connected to these beings. And as these contracts come forward, we're going to burn them in angelic fire across all time, space, dimension, reality, and planes of existence from the point of origin. Deep breath. We're going to ask the principality angels to open up a singularity. We're going to call judgment with the sword of truth and justice on all of these beings that do not belong in this space. All of these contracts are null and void. All of these beings will be sent to the high courts in the spirit world for justice. And we're going to ask that the principality angels open up a singularity to their realm and send them back through and seal that singularity again. Deep breath. And release. We're calling forward the religion of Islam. The entity that I see attached to this religion is very large. It's almost like, it reminds me of like a Yeti monster, but it's dark. It's got like a thick, matted fur and black skin and very small, piercing eyes. It's got large hands that are kind of leathery black. We're going to call this entity forward. Anaye, anaye, anage, anagaye, ayamaya, anage, ahanga, alamaya, Iana Eona Anaeana Yavana Eana Eamaeo Iana Mane. Okay. We're going to ask that the principality angels assist us in pulling the roots up from all of these connections. And as the roots are brought up, I feel this heavily in my solar plexus. We're going to ask the Archangel Michael to use his flaming blue sword to cut all of these cords with all of these beings at the point of origin, across all time, space, dimension, reality, and planes of existence. We're going to pull up these roots. We're going to call forward all the soul contracts that were made with these beings, known and unknown. If your ancestors have made these agreements, oftentimes this will just carry on into your life. Many times these things just come through as generational curses, where there's a strong energy pattern that just gets passed down through the generations and needs to be broken if it's an unhealthy pattern. So we're going to clear this. Call forward all the contracts, burn them up in angelic fire. We're going to ask that Mother God heal this on the other end for everyone. We call upon the sword of justice, and we'll call judgment on all of these beings for their participation and their influence over the people on this planet. We're going to ask that the principality angels open up a singularity to their domain and send them back where they came from. Deep breath out to release. I'm being told there's still some energy artifacts left here, so we're going to do another clearing on any energy artifacts still in our energy fields. Amavanai amanaya namavai anamiyana alamiyana niyana anamiyana emiyana manamiyana Yamanava taika ikmaka nika kakamikana. Deep breath out. Release. The angels want me to focus on Christianity. I'm seeing a very tall humanoid. It has very large black eyes. It's like an insect species. Very large black eyes on the forehead and the sides of the face where the cheeks would be. It's got like a mandible for a mouth. It's got multiple arms and legs that are like segmented, jointed like an insect's. Okay, this is a species that actually uses the human body not just as a conduit, but also as a host. So when our energy fields are used as hosts for other species, they will implant egg or sperm inside of our energetic field, and their offspring will use our field as like a maturation chamber to grow these beings. Eventually, these beings mature, and if not cleared, can take over our vessel. So this is something that you want to clear. They're showing me a full insect humanoid in someone's energy field, and it's actually in the cocoon state. So before this hatches, we will remove it. And this is a pretty common theme for dark ETs that do this implantation. They're looking for an energy source, just like in the insect world. Oftentimes, other animals or insects will be used as a breeding ground. If you think of like fleas on a dog or even head lice on humans, this is something that is a very common practice for these beings. So we're going to clear this at the root. We're going to ask the principality angels to help us pull all this up at the root. I ask the Archangel Michael to cut the root with the flaming blue sword. And we're going to cast those roots as we pull them out. You see it like a big tree root that you're yanking out of your energy field. And you're going to cast that into the angelic fire around you. Across all time, space, dimension, reality, and planes of existence at the point of origin. Wherever this energy was originally created, we're going to clear it. We're going to call forward all of the energy contracts. Anytime there's a soul contract, you want to understand if this is a light contract that was made between you and the divine, or if this is a dark contract made between you and the lower forces, the demonics, Satan, Lucifer, whoever you believe in. And all of these, of course, were born of darkness. So we're going to clear this out. We're going to cast all of these contracts into angelic fire across all time, space, dimension, reality, and planes of existence at the point of origin. Breath out. We're going to ask Mother God to clear this on the other end for everyone. We're going to stab this with the sword of truth and send all of these beings to the high courts for judgment. We're going to ask that the principalities open up singularities, send these beings back to their realm. Deep breath out. Okay, we're sealing the singularity. Okay, now we're going to clear any additional artifacts. I'm feeling a lot of heavy energy in my solar plexus, so let's call forward all the energy artifacts that were left. And you can think of this as like a computer drive that's been fragmented or defragging the energetic matrix in our field. We're going to bring all these artifacts together and we're going to cast them into the great central sun to be purged and cleared and reused, recycled by the universe. You can never destroy energy. You can only shift its form, recycle it. Okay, now we're going to focus on Mormonism. Let's see what the angels bring through today. I'm getting a scene of a woman in kind of a dark temple, and she's leaning over a baby. There's like a blanket and straw under the baby in this wooden like cradle, and she's weeping. Okay, I'm seeing like a dot of blood, like someone's pricked the finger of this infant, and there's like a dot of blood that's been placed on the third eye of the infant. But the infant is gray, it's not breathing. This looks like some kind of a sacrifice. So there's something where the children are being sacrificed. I'm not seeing the entity behind this. It looks like there's a force field that I can't penetrate. So let's clear that force field out so I can see what's going on. Ki cry, fun, 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 shall I. Ki cry, fine, 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 shall I. Ki cry, fine, 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 shall I. Okay, so the temple just lit up. So it's like a group of dark ETs, but they're robed. It looks like they're wearing masks, though. It's like these sharply pointed noses on these masks are really elongated. They have ropes tied around their wrists that have the mark of blood upon them. It's almost like they're being held in bondage by something behind this energy. Sebastopol, please shed light on this situation. Okay, I see a dark force being that's sitting on a throne. It's like a stone throne, and it's got like spiral symbols on it at the top, like at the top of the back of and there's like a sun. It's a sun in the center back of the throne engraved with some kind of a gemstone. I want to say it's citrine. Can you remove the mask from this being so I can see its true face? This being doesn't It's like it's got a really concaved face that's like, it almost looks mutilated. There's like some kind of a disease that's wasting this entity, and they're saying that's why it's pulling on these beings. They're showing me a planet that imploded. So there's something that happened to their planet that left them traveling all over the galaxy, and they were infected with some kind of a illness or a virus or something that has eaten away at the flesh. So this particular species is like a harvester energy. They're harvesting the energy to regenerate. I see like a lab. I see beakers full of different fluids. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I see the infants. There's something that the infants carry that they want from this planet, and they're harvesting that life force from the infants. They're like suspended in these chambers. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's clear this out. We're going to call upon the principalities to pull up all the roots of these energies across all time, space, dimension, reality, and all planes of existence at the point of origin. We're going to ask the Archangel Michael to use his flaming blue sword to cut through these roots. And we're going to pull out the roots and cast them into angelic fire. Deep breath out. We're going to call forward all the soul contracts across all time, space, dimension, reality, and planes of existence. I declare and decree that these contracts are null and void, that there will be no more sacrifice of the life force of these infants. I rebuke this in Jesus' name. Burn up all the soul contracts and angelic fire. Stab the sword of truth into these beings. Mother God, heal this on the other end. I call judgment on all of these energies, and I send them to the high courts for processing. I ask a singularity be opened by the principality angels to send these beings wherever they need to go. Okay, closing the singularity. Let's throw any artifacts into the great central sun for purging. Breathe it out. I am going to purge this one more time for the infant sacrifice. Let's do a clearing on that. And any remaining energy where you've lost a child to this sort of thing, or your ancestors did, any miscarriages or any stillbirths or anything like that have occurred. We call on healing energies for this. Archangel Raphael's a present. Thank you. See his green flame surrounding you. I see a lot of souls lifting off that are being freed from this. Alameyanavata Kamalaya Yamanakai Salameya Alameyana Alameyana Yamanavana Alameyana. I'm asking that the principalities bring forward any other religious disorders, any other entities based in any other religious beliefs, channeled by dark force onto this plane, across all time, space, dimension, reality, and planes of existence. I ask all the principality angels, the highest form, to come forward to free us from these dark ETs at the point of origin, across all time, space, dimension, reality, and planes of existence. They're saying you might have dreams or see visions of these ETs as they leave your presence. You might feel sensations in your body. Just remember to purge lots and lots and lots and lots of water. Get lots and lots of sleep. Make sure your electrolytes are balanced. You can do sea salt. You can do sea salt baths. You can, dates and pomegranate juice are good for helping with dizziness and instability. Lots of water for any headaches. Okay, We're going to pull the roots out of all of these energies. Archangel Michael's cutting the roots. We're pulling them out across all time, space, dimension, reality, and planes of existence at the root of origin. Cast it in angelic fire. Stab the sword of truth into the situation. This being is actually asking for mercy. It's saying it's trying to save its people by doing this. But in all honesty, we were never meant to pull from any other being. We were always meant to connect to source energy and bring anything that we needed through source energy, never from another. If you have a request, you ask it of spirit, and you ask spirit to bring forth whoever, whatever is willing to assist you. But it needs to be a loving and willing, high vibrational contract. You don't go to, they're showing me like when a child's on a playground and has a toy and another kid just walks up and steals that toy. That's not appropriate. And it's in those moments when those things are happening to you that you need to stand up and say no and take that energy back and rebuke that energy, entity, that fear, that emotion, that mental trap that's being projected upon you. And call back your power in that moment. So these beings went about this, all of these beings connected to these religions went about these things in unhealthy and impure ways. Instead of connecting to divine source for the assistance they needed, they took from others. And that is never the right move. Okay, so we'll call judgment on this situation, send all these beings to the high courts and the beings, the dark magician energy that is being connected through this as well. We're going to cleanse and purge all that and cut all those bindings as well. I feel this really painfully in my lower back, like below my solar plexus, like behind my sacral energy. So think of, the womb space being cleared. Guides and angels want me to shatter that citrine. They're putting it's like a metal spike almost in my hand, and they're asking that I go to this throne and stab this metal spike into this citrine crystal. It holds some kind of power, so we're going to break it. Okay, so that's shattered into pieces, and the angels whisked that energy off somewhere. Okay, they're placing it with some kind of a earth dragon that's purging the darkness out of that energy with its own fire. Okay, so we're going to take all of this really painful energy in the womb space, this abuse energy, this harvesting energy, across all time, space, dimension, reality, and planes of existence. I rebuke it in Jesus' name. We're asking Archangel Raphael to bring in the green flame and heal this. Just allow this flame to burn all this energy up. I feel really flushed as the energy is moving through my body. I feel almost like lightheaded and dizzy. So we're going to ask for some stabilization as this energy purges our field. We're going to ask that this clearing happen as long as it needs to for all of these energies. I'm hearing 48 hours. And I'm hearing 72 hours for stabilization. Looks like there's going to be a purging for the next 48 hours of stabilization within 72. So, as I said, lots of fluid. Get your electrolytes in you. Don't overexert yourself. Get plenty of rest. Eat good food, healthy, nourishing food. Lots of greens, lots of fresh vegetables, fruits, proteins. Lots of protein. Body can rebuild. Let's do 3 deep breaths. Breathe in source. Breathe out the lower frequencies. Breathe in source. Breathe out the lower frequencies. Breathe in source. Breathe out the lower frequencies. I'm going to ask for a singularity to be opened up, multiple singularities for all the different beings, so they're sent back to where they need to go. Judgment has been called on everything. Okay. clearing all these out. All the residual energies are being swirled out of the energy field. I keep getting a mix of the sacrifice from the last being, as well as the other beings from the other religions coming forward. Let's make sure every contract has been burned and cleared, every cording has been cut, every root has been removed, other gods handling the other energies. Judgment has been called on everyone, everything, all the participants, willing or unwilling, known or unknown, seen or unseen. Let nothing be hidden from the light. They're asking when you leave this session that you get up and you move your body to release all these traumas. Ask for stabilization. I'm actually going to send us into an Arcturian healing chamber here in a moment so that we can stabilize and recalibrate our energies better. There's not too much sickness or illness or dizziness or nausea that comes up from this. Let's close all the singularities as these beings leave. Archangel Gabriel, we come forward and seal our energy fields, any rips, tears in our energy fields. Let's go into the Arcturian healing chamber to recalibrate our field, balance all our chakras, showing a flooding of gold light and blue, cobalt blue light pouring down like liquid through the energy fields of everyone. Ground deep into Mother Gaia with your roots around her crystalline core. Release everything up through the upper chakras, throw any residual artifacts into the great central sun for purging. I'm going to call upon all of the animal spirits connected to everyone to go out with a clear crystal quartz and retrieve all of the soul fragments across all time, space, dimension, realities, and planes of existence, where pieces of our souls were broken away due to all these traumatic events, all of these harvestings, all of the siphoning of our energy. We call it back to us now through these crystals. I want you to see yourself sitting within a crystal cave. It is your cave, your individual cave, where you can go anytime you call your soul fragments back. As the animal spirits retrieve these fragments over the next several days, these fragments are going to be embedded into the crystal cave. They won't go directly into you until they are purged and cleansed. As these crystals get cleansed, we're going to purge them in angelic fire. They're showing me a red flame, so you can see the red flame going up into the crystals around you. The green flame for healing, a white flame, blue flame, a violet flame, a rose flame of divine love from Source, and a pink flame of self-love. This process, I ask, be repeated by your guides and angels for every fragment that comes back. As the fragment is cleared and cleansed, you're going to take that and you're going to send it down through all of your chakras, from crown to the Earth Star chakra. You're going to ground it in to the core of Gaia. Archangel Gabriel will come forth as these fragments are healed and reintegrated into your energy matrix. And she will seal any rips and tears in your energetic field with her beautiful crystal and snowflake seal. You're going to be cloaked in a gold and white shield of protection. We're going to call upon the Archangel Michael's cobalt blue cloak to protect us as this healing takes place over the next 72 hours, or as long as it takes for each individual to process this energy. The angels say that this session is complete. I am sending you so much love, so much light. Trust the process, trust the clearing. Any memories that come up, purge them. Ask the angels to let them go, release them, clear them. Any thoughts you have, any emotions that come up, purge and clear with the angels. Just keep repeating, I am purging, I am clearing, I am rebuking in Jesus' name. Whatever you're comfortable with, just cleanse, 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 cleanse. If you're benefiting from my channel and any of these energies that I am sending to the collective, I ask that you please share, like, subscribe, and donate. This keeps the energy channels open between us as an exchange of light and love and energetic connection. It also supports me in the work that I am doing, and I truly appreciate it. Sending you so much love and light. Blessings.